Welcome to WDUN Sports Talk, WDUN TV. It's a bright, sunshiny summer day here in Gainesville, Georgia. Looking pretty outside. I'm Judd Hickamoth, and that is Mr. Morgan Lee. He is the sports editor for AccessNorthGA.com. In the last couple of weeks, we both have life-changing things happen to us for the positive.
Yeah.
I think. That could be debated maybe. I got married, so congratulations to me. And Morgan Lee has not slept since last, Wednesday? Thursday? When was this?
It was, I guess technically it was Tuesday night because we went in early Wednesday morning. But yeah, second child delivered to us.
You want to make the official announcement or what?
Isabel Mary Lee.
All right.
Came into this world at 7:31 p.m. on June... and now I'm blanking on the daggum date.
He doesn't know his second child's birthday.
You like that? Well, I was forgetting my first one's the other day. I do believe it was June 8th.
Okay, he does believe it was June 8th. Well, congratulations to the entire Lee the family. The clan's just getting bigger and bigger.
As you say, lack of sleep. So
exactly. All right, but he is here. Morgan, he might be a little grumpy because, the baby gets up and cries, and then he gets up and cries, so... that's perfectly fine. All right, as we've said before, this is kind of the dog days of summer as far as high school sports go, but doesn't mean we can't talk about some high school sports as well, so we'll get to that. Also, we'll mention a little G-Brave stuff as well. Gwinnett Braves back in town starting tonight to take on the Durham Bulls, which is a pretty big series, as big as it can be for the middle of June. But something that Morgan Lee came up with, and... whenever you hear something like this happen on a show, whether it's radio sports talk or a show like this, if you do the best of the superlatives, it's like, well, we don't have anything else to talk about. Let's just do this. So Morgan came up with this idea, and we could probably do a whole bunch of these shows, but I guess just kind of a year in review for the 2010-2011 school year. So be it, with a whole bunch of things. So we have some superlatives that we want to hand out. I'll be honest with you. A lot of my stuff is what I saw. I try to do what I saw for the most part. Well, I got a couple in there what I didn't see. So I did a lot of football, a lot of basketball.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's, go with what you know.
Exactly. All right, well, let's just start at the very top of this thing. Most impressive team over any of the sports for anything. Do you want to start or do you want me to start? We can go back and forth with this.
Okay.
We might actually pick the same one. I'm not sure. We have not seen each other's answers for this.
I wrote down 4 candidates.
Oh, okay.
Just because of how their season ended up. Obviously, I mean, I think you've had to have won a state title to finish up in this sort of category. There's always teams that kind of fall short, and they were great all year, but always fall short. And I guess you could make an argument for that, but. As far as I'm concerned, if you don't win a state title, I don't think you can go down as the most impressive.
I agree.
So the 4 I've got, well, I won't give you all 4, but
okay.
Let's just say there are 3 teams from Buford.
Yes.
And then I think the one that probably will get glossed over just because everyone's gotten so used to it, nobody really talks about the sport very much. Jefferson Wrestling won their 24th and 25th state titles this year.
It's amazing.
Yeah. They won the state duels again for. But the 10th year in a row, and they won the traditional tournament, which they have just dominated single A and double A for the past decade and a half, really.
Mm-hmm.
Every year, I mean, and this was kind of a down year for them as far as they didn't dominate every category. They only had 2 individual state champions. Usually, it's like they go through and they win like 4 or 5 or 6 state titles individually. This year, they just got 2. Of course, I think that also is a factor of other programs getting better. But when you talk about just year in, year out, what you could, I mean, what the definition of just greatness is Jefferson Wrestling
and of dominance. So that's a really good call. I didn't think about that one, but yeah, I mean, to do that for that long is absolutely amazing. That is a great call. I am going to go with one of the Buford teams. Buford girls basketball team is, just dominated everybody. Beat teams by 30, 40 points in the playoffs. Just outstanding. Andrea Carter and Kayla Davis leading the way, but really the entire team effort. Gene Durden, an outstanding coach, and I mean those girls listen to what he has to say, and as well coached team in any sport that I can think of.
I don't think they have much of a choice. I mean, if you're in the zip code, you're going to hear what Gene Durden's got to say.
He's got the red face, and he gets after it.
It's so funny because he's such a soft-spoken, kind of easygoing guy off the court. But man, you get him you get him onto that sideline or on that bench, and it's just like, Jekyll and Hyde.
Exactly. I think that's what you have to have. Kind of be like more of a sweetheart kind of guy off, a likable guy off the court, but then really, really get their attention, and maybe they fear you just enough on the court to be good. So there you go. So we can go with those two: Jefferson Wrestling and Buford girls basketball, both just outstanding. All right, most fun team to watch. This was a tough one. I really had to think about this. One of the teams that I covered a lot this year were the West Hall boys basketball team. I love the way they played. I mean, they had things really going. They made a pretty good run in the playoffs. Ended up losing, I believe, to the number one team in the state, Columbia High School. If I'm not mistaken.
Went on to win a state title.
Yeah, exactly. So I enjoyed watching them play and all they were able to do. I mean, I think that overall they would say they had a very good year, and hopefully they're proud of what they were able to do this year.
Yeah, certainly West Hall basketball. I mean, this was the year that everybody had pointed to as going to be the year for them, and unfortunately they come up just short.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about this later, I'll talk about it later anyway in the 8 AAA title game, which phenomenal game. And then end up unfortunately in that bracket with Columbia. They gave Columbia the toughest game that Columbia faced in the entire playoffs as far as closeness of the final score. But definitely a worthy pick. I couldn't come up with just one. I wrote down a few.
You're like an encyclopedia of North Georgia sports, so it's fine. You can have more than one. That's not a problem.
The two that really stood out to me for the fall were Gainesville and Flower Branch football, just because of the style of football they play.
Mm-hmm.
Just throwing the ball everywhere, and especially I think it was fun this year to watch Gainesville, just because there was so much overhaul from the team that went to the Dome and finished second in 2009. And this year's team, I mean, you had a freshman playing quarterback who just made everybody go wow.
Yeah.
And then you stick AJ back there and let him run the ball. That was fun to watch.
That was a nice little wrinkle they had in there too.
Yeah.
AJ Johnson is just a statuesque guy if you ever seen him. And it's like you see him in the backfield, and I know those linebackers, everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. During the winter, I think my favorite team to watch was East Hall basketball, just because they kind of got back to what East Hall was.
I love it. That was my second.
Yeah, what they were used to playing. I think three really good seniors and a junior in J.C. Hampton, who's just going to be a great player next year. I mean, he was already a great player this year. And then in the spring, I think because of my leanings, everybody's going to say homer on this one, but Gainesville soccer was
big surprise.
Yeah, was my favorite team to watch, just because of the style that they played. I mean, not only were they successful, but they played a very unique kind of possession-oriented style of play that you don't see a lot in high school. It wasn't just banging into the corners and use your athleticism. And, I mean, that's obviously effective, but I prefer to watch a little bit more kind of cultured style, and that was what they employed.
All right, that's very good. And, yeah, I will give a shout-out to East Hall boys basketball. I enjoy watching them play as much as any team in any sport in this area. Love East Hall basketball. All right, we'll do one more before the break. Most dominating player. This is a tough one as well. I'm pulling a Morgan Lee here, and I picked 3. I picked 2 from the Buford girls basketball team. They're both going to play at the next level. Andrea Carter, Kayla Davis, both outstanding, and the guy we just mentioned too, AJ Johnson from Gainesville, just does a little bit of everything. Tennessee's getting one heck of a football player. Those are the 3 that really right away just kind of stuck out in my head. So I'm sure you got some more though.
AJ was at the top of my list too, just because everything that he did. I mean, he put that team on his back this year, which with a football team, it's hard for one guy to make that big of a difference. But I mean, he really did. I just because of what we're coming off of, I've got 2 track people on here, and Cody Barger from North Hall and Erica Rucker from Flower Branch. I mean, Cody got the distance sweep this year. Was first place in AAA cross country, first place in the 3200, and first place in the 1600. That sort of thing doesn't happen very often.
No, 3 different links like that. I mean, that's tough to do.
Yeah, and just an impressive runner. Erica was a state champ last year in the 400, and she kind of started to stretch herself out this year and become a true middle distance runner. She won the 400 and 800 in 4A, and is going on a run at South Carolina. She's probably as great a runner as we've had come from Northeast Georgia maybe ever.
Wow.
So
that's pretty good.
Then I mean, and that's not even including Ashley Lowry at White County with all the stuff he did. You talk about the 2 pitchers at Buford, Hedinger and Burnett. and then the 2 pitchers at White County, and so is being Crumley.
Yeah, it's been an outstanding year for individual athletes as well. So you can choose any one of a number of some really, really good athletes. All right, we're going to take a break. Coming back, what was the most memorable game of the season in high school sports in this area, and also who's the most surprising team as well? We'll have more after this break. WDUN Sports Talk on WDUN TV. Be right back.
At the offices of Dr. Norman Peets, DDS on Green Street in Gainesville, patients have all their general dentistry needs explained. Ask about sedation dentistry. Dr. Peets' team of professionals puts you at ease. Dedicated, experienced, professional. He's Gainesville's family dentist. Dr. Norman Peets, 615 Green Street in Gainesville.
I will not march blindly into the fluorescent light of Monday morning to a job I do not love. I will not go with the flow. I am not a carbon copy. I will visit this website before tomorrow because I refuse to work for the weekend, even if everyone is working for the weekend. Today, I will find a job that I love. Today, I will find my career happiness.
WDUN Sports Talk on WDUN TV, rolling on. Doing the superlative show. Most impressive team, most fun team to watch, most dominating player. We did those 3 during the first segment. By the way, if you're just tuning in right in the middle of this or whatever, youtube.com is the place to go. Just search for WDUN Sports Talk, and you can find us. We're all over the place. I'm Judd. That's Morgan. Rolling on with this thing. Let's do most surprising team. We're just going over 2010, 2011 school year, athletic year, however you want to look at it. I'm going to go with a team that I didn't even see, a sport that I didn't even see up here. But I'm going to go with Habersham Central Soccer. Hey, yes, that's right. They had a great run. They made it to the Final Four of the state. I mean, it's it could be debated. I mean, there are a whole bunch of really good, very surprising teams. You could go with the negative as this as well. We try to stay to the positive, I think.
Absolutely.
But yes, I mean, they had a great run, right?
Yeah, no.
One of those historic runs for the team.
In fact, that was the number 1 team I had. I've got 2. And that was the number 1 I picked just because they graduated the bulk of last year's team. Which was a very good team. I don't think, even talking to Coach Rick Wallace, he didn't expect this sort of thing. They won their 6th straight region title. They really, I don't want to say came out of nowhere, but they just had a lot of young guys, or guys that were backups step into starting roles and really step up and carry the mantle. I think everyone was so impressed with not only that they won, but that they won in pressure situations. I mean, their 3 playoff victories.
Shootouts, right?
Well, they had 1 overtime and then 2 shootouts. So, wow. I mean, responding under pressure, that's it.
I'm gonna guess can I guess your second one? I haven't even seen his answers. I'm gonna say Flowery Branch football.
No. Flowery Branch is right.
That was my okay, but
Flowery
not
Branch
football.
is right. Well, and the reason I didn't say Flowery Branch football is I actually expected them to do what they did last year.
To do that well?
Yeah.
To jump
I don't know that
I
expect them to do that well, but I expect them to get the playoffs.
Okay.
The well-coached team had a lot of key elements in place. Flowery Branch girls basketball for me.
Okay.
Because you're talking about a team that was 7-18 in the regular season.
Yeah.
Went to the state tournament. I mean, they got hot at the right time.
Yep.
A lot of youth. Not a single senior on that team, and only really a couple juniors. It was mostly sophomores. And for them to, I think they won, 4 straight games? I'm trying to remember.
In 4 days, right?
Yeah, something like that. I think it might have been 5 days.
Okay.
But for them to get into the state tournament and give it a real go in the first round of the state tournament, that was beyond impressive just for a team that, I mean, you win only 7 games in the regular season. That would be really easy just to be like, you get to the region tournament and be like, we're done.
Just roll it over.
Yep.
And they didn't do it. Win 7 in the regular season and then win 4 when it really, really matters, when the chips are on the table. That's a pretty good call. And most memorable game. I have a couple here. One of them is not really a game, but I got to give shout out. We talked about this, I guess it was a month ago or so. Franklin County's Jessica Welch, the girls golfer, she goes out and shoots a 68 at state. I mean, that's impressive. That's impressive if you're a guy, if you're a girl. It's pretty impressive if you're Fuzzy Zeller. It doesn't matter who you are. That's pretty good. So I will give her a lot of credit for that one. And the other one is Buford beating Calhoun in the Dome. Buford boys football. Buford football in general goes out. Not surprising they won another state championship. Not really surprising they beat Calhoun again. But it was how it happened. Came down to the very last play, where Calhoun can't complete a pass. It goes to overtime. I mean, just an outstanding, a great end to the football season for the Buford Wolves. I mean, that was one of the most fun games I've called on radio ever.
Yeah, certainly an unbelievable game. I mean, I had my lead written to that story about 5 different times.
Did you?
Changing between, Buford got it easy. Buford made it close. Calhoun just tied it. Calhoun's got the momentum. And then, Buford won it again. Okay, wow, okay, great. It was an unbelievable game. I mean, not only for the overtime. I mean, for the fact, Calhoun had a kicker that hit a 45-yard field goal to send it to overtime.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, that's unbelievable at the high school ranks, especially. Poor old Calhoun's got to feel like they're never going to get past the green and gold juggernaut. There was a third straight year.
Exactly.
But yeah, that was an incredible game. For me, I had again several. I think possibly the best game that I saw all year was that West Hall Franklin County boys basketball game that decided the Region 8 AAA title this year. You had Franklin County, which had 5 starting seniors who'd all played together for God knows how long, taking on West Hall, which is a similar situation. I think they had 4 seniors on the starting lineup who had played together for forever, and it was one of those games where you just didn't want it to end because somebody would one up somebody else, and it was incredible.
And we got about 2 minutes left. I just want to mention one thing real quick about that game. Franklin, I think, made 2 substitutions, maybe 3 that entire game, and they ended up winning it. That was unbelievable.
Crazy game.
Yep. You got any more?
You had I really enjoyed the Gainesville White County Region Championship game in football. That was a great game. The Buford boys basketball team beating South Atlanta in the quarterfinals.
Yes,
was a crazy game where Alex Flagler hit that almost half court 3-pointer.
Good call.
That's going to get before next year. That'll be like he hit it from the baseline of, underneath the other basket.
He did hit it from deep though.
It was pretty deep. Yep. And then a game that you broadcast, that North Hall Stevens County football game that was just like
back and forth. I almost put one of the North Hall games. I couldn't figure out which one because it was a lot of offense this year.
It was like each team rushed for like 600 yards in that game or something ridiculous. So.
Yep, that was outstanding. I want to add one more little thing in here. Best dressed any year. We do something like this. I'm going to have best dressed. Ty Benji Wood and Joe Dix.
Wow,
the 2 most best dressed coaches I've ever seen.
Well, and I gotta brag on myself a little bit. Benji said he needed to raid my closet the other day when I saw him.
Really?
So. That made me feel pretty good. I mean,
that's pretty good.
Immaculately dressed.
Yes, absolutely. All right, that's going to do it. If we can think of more superlatives, we will come up with it. But that's going to do it for the show. YouTube.com, search for WDUN Sports Talk. That's going to do it. Morgan, appreciate it. Go home, take care of the baby.
Thanks, we'll do.
Whatever her birthday is. Yes. Thanks to Scott McIntyre as well, producing back here. Give a wave. We will talk to you next week. WDUN Sports Talk on WDUN TV. See ya.
Yeah.